Good morning. I'm filming inside the house today. It's kind of humid and wet outside. So I decided to film in here. So I was up pretty early this morning. I'm not sure what time it is right now. But and I did a little scroll and I found this lady who lives in a van. And that's fascinating to me because she lives in a van. And to me, that's pretty scrunchy. We live in a very small cottage, which is 1,200 square foot. And as you can see behind me, I've got a lot of art, and we have 11-foot ceilings. Now in this room, it is almost all the way to the ceiling with the art. In another room, which I was going to film in, but the curtains aren't back up because we were painting it last week. So I'm in this room, and I think the minimum that I could live in would be about 700 square feet. I've taken vacations in smaller places that were like 300 square feet. And if you were on vacation, that's cool. But if you're not on vacation and every day you're doing these things, and there's two of you because there's two of us, so it's just not something I think I could do. But it would be fun to try it for maybe a week or 2 weeks. Just go and set up someplace. I don't know. I'm a little bit fascinated by this transient lifestyle that a lot of people have adopted. Oops, let me go forward. Not because maybe they wanted to. I read a lot about a woman who lives in her car, and every 2 weeks, she and other people who live in their cars travel to a different place where they can stay for 2 weeks. So it's kind of an interesting little gypsy-like lifestyle. I hope that doesn't offend anybody. But so it's kind of fascinating to me. But here is what the lady said. She said she lives in a healthy state of delusion. And I have to say that is, I think, almost the best description of what I'm doing these days, is living in a healthy state of delusion. Now, what she said was that she could do anything. She could do anything. And by gosh, she kind of did, because she really fitted out this band. And it was very, very, very interesting. She lives with a dog and a cat, and it is tight quarters, but it seems to work for her, and that's what we're doing. Now at 70, I have become basically invisible to the general populace unless they see me walking up and they will open a door for me. Sometimes people ask me, can I help you lift that? So it's interesting, but nobody's looking at a hot body, and I am not going to get any pickup lines. Let's see here. Not that I go anywhere. Now, here's another thing. One time, one of the people that was employed for the company that I work for, and they were under my jurisdiction, and she said, you just always look scary. And I said, well, tell me why I always look scary. She said, you just have always a serious look on your face. So I thought that was kind of funny, because in my head it's kind of like but I do have a resting bitch face, and it probably does make me look unapproachable. But all right, so back. I digress. Anyway, and her thing was, she believes that she could do anything. Okay, I said that once. So I thought, all right, a healthy state of delusion. Given what I just said to you about being invisible, maybe a little unapproachable, I thought, what would my healthy state of delusion be? And we've been in the cottage now for 6 years, and to tell you the truth, whenever I get in the driveway, because we're not on a road that you have to really look for us. Okay, so we go down the driveway, and about halfway down the driveway, somewhere in there, it's like you pass through that wobbly bubble that people like go through whenever they're going to another time or something, and you sort of step back into the 1930s. Our house is approximately 100 years old, about right in there. And it's housed 3 or 4 families. So it's got some history, and it is the cutest little thing. And we painted it in an incredibly bright blue. And we are happy in it. All right, it has a screened porch that wraps halfway around the house, that has rocking chairs on it. And my husband's 76. I've told y'all before, I'm 70. So my healthy state of delusion is kind of stepping back in time whenever my house was made, when things were quieter, when people were more polite, when you didn't hear about what was going on quite so quickly. There were wars going on, for sure. Just come out of the Great Depression, so there was trouble then too. But at 70, I really have begun to crave slow and quiet. And if I'm going to be creative, I don't want to have to worry about selling it. So that's sort of my healthy state of delusion. And I was an artist for many, many years while I was a district manager for a very large liquor company here in Texas. And I was living at the beach because that's where my area was. And I was churning out, 8 by 10s, 11 by 17s, whatever the thing is, and selling them through a small booth that I had in one of the antique craft stores there in Galveston. And they sold like crazy. They sold like crazy, crazy, crazy. But after a while, I was like, okay. And what that okay was once you turn something that you love to do into a job, it becomes less lovable. And this is true, less lovable. So if you can change your mindset to a healthy state of delusion, you're better off all the way around. My opinion. This is how it's working for me. So I began to create what I liked to create. Now, if you've watched any of my videos, you know I love the bins, and I love to go thrift, and I love just the hunt for things that I like to do. I love nothing more than to find a great big huge bag of jewelry that's all tangled, and they're going to sell it for not much money because they don't want to untangle it. All right, so that's really great. I just love that. I don't go to garage sales, and I don't go to estate sales, although my daughter says I should go to estate sales. But garage sales hold no fascination for me, and that's too much going from place to place to place to place to place. So I choose, my way of doing things. We, Terry and I go a lot, well, once a month. And it's a fun day, and I've told y'all that before. But let me show you some of the things that really, really, really have my heart. And which is funny because the very first one is a heart. And this is what I like to do now. And these are collaged with beads and trinkets and things I find on the ground and crazy stuff. And it's a little bitty thing right there. So this is one of the things that I put on my Poshmark, and I sell it. Now, do I sell it for hundreds of dollars? I do not. I do not, because I need for it to go so that I can go and buy more beads and stuff like that. But some of the fun things that I like to do, and I really don't care if anybody else likes them. As a general rule, they do sell because there are other weirdos out there like me. And but I just love the shiny, and I love bits and pieces because I'm such a darn magpie. But I work a lot, with resin, and these are the things, and you see there's a lot of jewelry in there. Okay, so I just find old things broken, things that people don't want anymore, of course, that's happening when you're thrifting. And and that's the back is resin, like that, so, and this is a very fun, healthy delusion to have, because I can sit in front of something. It's generally this phone, and I put them, I do have a studio, by the way, and it's out and it's a mess right now, but I am kind of changing over to doing just this collage work, but a lot of it's with fabric now, but it does add beads. But see, this was a tuna can. This was a tuna can, and you can see that I've hidden the tuna can. And then this was one whole necklace right here. And then it's just like I said, a lot of times I find single earrings, I find single things, but gluing and placing things is satisfying to me. It is very, very uplifting, and I don't at this point, and I don't want to invite anything, but I don't have a whole lot of stress in my life right now, but this is funny and fun, because I have, it does quiet my mind, because sometimes my mind does woo a little, so especially after you watch the news. And by the way, I'm really beginning to think that there's not enough crystals, there's not enough sage, there's not enough anything to fix this shit. And it's very, very disconcerting to somebody like me, because you've lived a life fairly free of wars and stuff like that, and then here it is right on your doorstep. So it's kind of scary to me, but I'm just going to keep showing you these little pieces, and I urge you to find your healthy delusion, especially if you're my age. Don't just sit and watch television. You can watch things. Like I said, I watch on my phone, I listen. So right now I'm listening to something called Entitled, which is a book that is about Sarah Ferguson and Andrew, the one who got in all the trouble with Epstein. And man, oh man, were those people bad. They were naughty, naughty, naughty people. But it's kind of an interesting, I'm waiting for them to get into the part where Andrew is really naughty. And so these are just some of the things, like I said, that I, now, do I sell them? I do. I told you this already. But do I give them away? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All the time. All the time. I love to give things away. If somebody's having a hard day or whatever, I just pick up one of my little things here and march myself right over there and give them a gift that they can hang on their wall, or gift to somebody else. Once it's out of my hands, I don't care what you do with it. But this is really, really fun for me. Now, some of my healthy delusion is that I'm spending an awful lot of time in the past, as far as doing some videos for my grandchildren and getting photos done. I have already done a tremendous amount of decluttering, because things that I'm interested in, my children aren't. Most of the things that I have up here on the walls, these right here, I found, there's 3 of them and they go up. I found them in a bathroom in Napa, and the prints were $6 each. And I thought, all right, I can buy that. Now, to frame them, yeah, that was a little worse. But even with the mat, it was $6. So everything that we have here is a place that we've been. Okay, so every time I come in here, I can look over this way and I can see New Mexico, I can see Paris, I can see Honduras, I can see Natchitoches, I can see Paris again, San Antonio, Ocean Springs. So these are the things that I collect, and these are the things I'm keeping. I have walls full of stuff, but not trinkets that are on mine, but a healthy delusion, like I said, healthy delusion. So here are some of this one. This piece is, actually you can remove this piece right here. I don't know yes I do, okay. And you can put a picture in here and then put this piece back on. I'm not sure I want to I have this upside down. Okay. And I'll put it back on. Hopefully it doesn't fall off. And so anyway, this to me just looks like the 30s, and whenever people dressed up to go to church, or they dressed up to go out to dinner, they dressed up to go on a plane if they were going on a plane. And that kind of lasted clear into the 70s. It really fell apart whenever not COVID. Yeah, I think it was COVID. COVID came around, and everybody was dressing just as simply as they could. It's 9/11. That because you were being patted down, whenever you went on an airplane. And we've traveled quite a little bit. So this one, I just love this one. See, this is a China flower, and the rest of them are, of course, just odd pieces I found in the frame. This is why I have studio, so I don't have all this in my house. But it is, it's a lovely piece, and I've kept it and kept it and kept it, and I kind of wonder why I'm keeping it. So I'm probably going to put it, go ahead and put it in Poshmark and let it go. But this is fun to do. This is really fun to do. And if you're a collector of oddities, that makes it even more fun. So it's what's your healthy delusion? Do you not watch the news so you don't have to listen to all of that? Because I don't watch the news. My husband does, and I have to listen to that. But I don't, I try to keep myself absolutely away from it, so that I know that it's happening, but I will drive myself crazy if I listen to it all day long. Do you step back into the 30s? Do you stay in the 60s? Do you dress like your delusion? A lot of people do, and it's really kind of cute. I mean, I follow a tremendous amount of crazy people, and their whole lives revolve around this time in history, to where they even dress like it. They even dress like it. I mean, I can't imagine wearing a corset all day. I sure as heck wouldn't. But it is, I guess, something you could do if you could wear a corset all day long. There's the medieval folks, the Victorian folks, like I said, the 30 folks. I don't dress like my delusion, except that the fact that I've always dressed weird and odd, and that's been kind of my thing. Just wore what I wanted to wear. And again, at this age, I'm not wearing anything tight. I'm not. I remember the freedom of not ever wearing pantyhose again. That was great. Oh my gosh, that was great. So it has been, for me, a real sort of eye-opener this last 3-4 years that I've been retired, to say, hey, it's okay. You don't have to be busy all the time. You can sit and embroider. I have given up the painting, because in order to do that, that's a big mess. And my clothes were always had paint on them, and I can't take it with me. I can take the embroidery with me. I can do that. And I can sit and embroider anywhere. I will be going next week up to Austin, which is about a 4-hour trip from here, and you can be darn sure I'll be able to finish a patch in that time. So these are the things that I like to do. I'm not a great cook, and I'm an even worse baker. It's not fun for me, so I don't like to do that. But I do like to keep my hands busy, and I do like to do things like this, and it's fun. I like it. I like it a lot. So that's all my opinion for today. And if you have one, I would sure as heck like to hear it from you. I urge any of you grandparents out there to start doing a vlog for your grandchildren. Mine have enjoyed it. It's come with some questions about this and this and this, and they might not have ever known how to ask those questions. They do like the stories about their parents, which I think is hilarious. They just think that their parents sure aren't going to tell them this. And of course, the stories are all lighthearted and funny, but their parents just don't remember it the same way that I remember it. So do it for your grandchildren. Do it for anybody else that wants to watch it, because it's fun to do it. Number one, I carry a little book with me now, and every time we have a funny story, I write it down. Today I will probably do a little bit about this and what a healthy obsession might look for them, um, because they're young. They're so young. Oh, I said obsession. I meant delusion. So do involve yourself in your grandchildren's life as a grandparent, because your knowledge is important, even if it's just about your family. I don't give them any um, advice about voting or being a Republican or being a Democrat or any of that stuff. I just say, hey, this was what happened today. I like this. I hate this. Which usually is things like crazy things like food. I also like to, and have begun doing this, is we have a really pretty well documented genealogy. So I've started doing genealogy things for them. This is this person. This is what happened to him, her, and it's been fun for me too to look back on it and see that oh, I didn't remember that. I didn't remember that. So do it. It's fun, and I thank you for watching me. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Bye.